to a shutout, allowing just one earned hit and striking out 8 batters on the day. And Devin, you and I were chatting after the game, and you said that might have been the best game you've seen the Nighthawks play all season.
Yeah, I think that yesterday was probably is one of the best, if not the best, games I've seen the Nighthawks play this season, from top down, from either on the hitting side or the pitching side or the fielding side. They were just completely flawless yesterday, and you got to give credit to the pitcher yesterday. Wes Lott pitched all 9 innings for the Nighthawks. Not something you see too commonly with this team. Pitcher making it through the whole game. So I think it was a great effort by the team on both sides, and Wes Lott, the defensive star, making a ton of plays as well.
Absolutely. Hopefully we see more of the same today from North Georgia pitching. We'll step aside for the national anthem. When we return, it's North Georgia versus Salem University, Nighthawks versus Tigers, coming your way on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Here in Dahlonega, we treasure our history.
We treasure our waterfalls.
We treasure our wine.
But most of all, we treasure our guests.
We are a family.
We treasure our community.
And we're an experience for you to discover.
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 The heart of the Georgia mountains.
The heart of the Georgia mountains.
Discover the heart of the Georgia mountains.
The mountains are open.
And we're ready for lineups and first pitch. We've got the Nighthawks versus the Tigers here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. And here's who head coach JT Heenan has etched into the batting order for Salem in game number 2. Leading things off, just like yesterday, is going to be number 1, Luis Angarita, followed by Brett Ayer, Caden Zacharias, and Tyler Shin batting cleanup. And then Nathan Kuhn, Jacob Hurley, Ben Matos, Aaron Forbes, and Jose Lojo is going to round out the batting order for the Tigers. And they're going to have to face off against Daniel Courtney on the mound for North Georgia. Courtney this season with a 4.34 ERA. He's pitched just over 45 innings for the Nighthawks this season, allowing 45 hits, 22 runs. He struck out 29 batters, walked 9, and he's allowed 2 home runs when he's been on the plate. Tigers now 15-22 on the year, 3-3 in their last 6, trying to get a comeback W to match their win total from last season, but that's going to be a tall order, especially considering North Georgia's got a bullpen that is fresh and ready for the doubleheader today, just down Lott after he pitched the entire game for the Nighthawks in game number 1. And so the Nighthawks looking to clinch the series win here in game number 2. The Tigers trying to let Game 3 later today decide the winner of this series, and we should be in for plenty of action here at the Steiner again. We're glad you've all decided to join us today as Angarita steps up into the batter's box for the Tigers.
North Georgia's riding on a lot of momentum coming into this game. Had a pretty much flawless game yesterday. I'm curious to see if this momentum will keep up, and especially that we also are doing a doubleheader today compared to just what we were doing one game. I wonder if that's going to play a factor today too, whereas, okay, you ride off the momentum from last night. Oh, instead of playing one game, now we have to play both games, so maybe North Georgia going for that series sweep.
Absolutely, due to some inclement weather here in Dahlonega, had some changes to the schedule for North Georgia. Counts now 2-1 for Angarita. He's still looking for his first hit of the weekend. And the 2-1 pitch, that one's going to be grounded over to Frost, and he'll gather, make the throw to first on time for the first out here in the top of the first. So now Brett Ayer stepping up into the batter's box for the Tigers. Ayer did get a hit in his 3 appearances at the plate yesterday. He was the only Tiger to register an earned hit. And he sees a strike go past him there from Daniel Courtney. Count's going to be 0-1. And that pitch is going to be low for a ball. Count's now 1-1. And the Tigers going with the same top 4 in the batting order as they did in game number 1. And that one's going to be over the head of Bowen, and that one's going to get in left. And so Ayer getting the first hit here for the Tigers. He gets that one down in left field. And so he continues off of some momentum he saw from yesterday.
That was only Salem's second base hit of the weekend so far.
So now Caden Zacharias stepping up into the batter's box. He was struck out by Lott in yesterday's game. One of 8 strikeouts for Lott. And that pitch from Courtney's going to be low for a ball, 1-0. Got a pick-off attempt there at first. Another pickoff attempt. We saw quite a few of those yesterday from Tigers pitcher Jared Lund. Definitely had his eye over on first for a majority of game number 1. Counts now 2-0. Another pickoff attempt there at first. And yesterday, Lund actually pitched a pretty nice game for the Tigers. Unfortunately, he was just a bit distracted as that pitch from Courtney is going to hit Lund. So now that's going to put runners on first and second for the Tigers. And here comes Coach Cantrell early, coming out to the mound as his infield is going to have a bit of a discussion here with Daniel Courtney on the mound.
As you mentioned, Salem yesterday, I thought from what I saw, I thought they played pretty well, but they just got absolutely outplayed by the Nighthawks. And when you're in situations like that as a team, when instead of one team blowing out the other team or something like that, I think it's a good thing when both teams play really good, but you can clearly outplay the other team.
Absolutely. And Jared Lund yesterday pitched 7 innings, allowing 7 hits, 3 runs, all 3 of those runs being earned. He only walked 1 batter and struck out 4, and so, as we mentioned, not too shabby of a game for Lund. Unfortunately, the momentum of the game was slowed down a bit in those, closing out that game between the 7th and the 9th innings. He was a bit distracted with the pickoff attempts, as that pitch from Courtney is going to be high and outside. It's a 1-0 count.
We've seen a lot of pickoff attempts already in today's game.
And the 1-0 pitch can be right down the middle for a strike, 1-1. With Tyler Shin up to bat for the Tigers. He was walked and struck out in his 2 appearances at the plate in yesterday's game. And the 1-1 pitch, that one's going to be hit well but fouled. It's a 1-2 count. As Courtney gets his signal. And the 1-2 pitch, that one's going to be low for a ball. Now 2-2. And here comes the pitch. That one's outside. Now a full count. The Tigers didn't find themselves in too many full counts yesterday, but they find themselves in one early here. Pickoff attempt there at second, and Coach Cantrell very upset about that call. Coming out of the bullpen, he is barking over there at that bullpen, at that ump at second base. He is livid about that call. Nighthawks bullpen.
A lot of these stolen bases calls can be.
Now it's going to be grounded into right, and they're waving him home here at the Steiner, and slides in easily, and the Tigers strike first in this game as Air slides in safely. It's an early 1-0 lead for Salem. And so here comes Nathan Kuhn stepping into the batter's box for the Tigers. And Kuhn yesterday, 3 appearances at the plate, was struck out twice, and that one's going to be grounded into right, and Frost will gather, make the throw to first. Not on time. And here comes Coach Cantrell again, this time to the ump at first base. And Bowman was all but sure that that was going to be out number 2. So Coach Cantrell is not too pleased to open up this game, and now the umps here at Bob Stein Stadium going to have a quick conversation. And they're going to indeed call Kuhn safe, and now bases are loaded with Jacob Hurley up to bat. This is Jacob Hurley's first plate appearance of the weekend. And that pitch is going to get away from Davis. Runners will stay put. It's a 1-0 count. Hurley with a .244 batting average this year. He's got 21 hits 11 RBIs and a home run under his belt. And so after what was a quiet offensive game from the Tigers in Game 1, they've already surpassed their hits and runs from yesterday's game. We are just in the top of the first. Now it's going to be tipped and fouled. Counts moving to 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch, that one's hit well into left field. And that's going to be a routine play. But that's going to score another run for the Tigers. They go up early in this game 2-0 on that sac fly from Jacob Hurley. And so now Ben Matos up to bat for the Tigers. Matos was the designated hitter in game number 1, was unable to get a hit. Counts now 1-0. And the Tigers have so far completely flipped the script here in game number 2. And the 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be down the middle for a strike, 1-1. And Devin, in game number 1, we saw the Tigers favor that right side of the field. A lot of grounders going to Connor Frost's way. But we've seen here in game number 2, they're starting to favor that left side of the field.
It's possible that they're starting to figure out because yesterday on the batting side, they really couldn't get anything going, only getting one hit during that game, getting struck out. A lot of batters striking out, and I think maybe they've possibly found a hole on the left side of the left field on the Nighthawks.
Counts now 2-1 for Matos. Got runners on first and second. Another pickoff attempt, but that's going to get away from Frost. Luckily, runners stay put. Count still 2-1. And here comes the pitch from Courtney. That one's going to be outside. Now 3-1 for Matos.
Cantrell already sending pitchers out to the bullpen, getting warmed up.
And the 3-1 pitch. Now it's going to cut it close for ball number 4. And so now bases are going to be loaded for the second time here in the top of the first for Aaron Forbes. And this is Forbes' first plate appearance of the weekend, and he sees a strike go by him there. Counts 0-1. Forbes with a 156 batting average. He's got 5 hits this year, 5 RBIs, and 1 home run. And that one's going to be outside. Counts moving to 1-1. Courtney trying to get the out here. Leave runners stranded on all the bags for the Tigers. And the 1-1 pitch. Now it's going to be low for ball number 2. It's now a 2-1 count for Forbes. And the Tigers could potentially see their entire batting order here in the top of the first, but that one's going to be grounded to Frost. He'll make the throw to first, and there is not going to be a play made. Scores now 3-0 in favor of the Tigers. And so now bases still loaded for the Tigers with Jose Lojo stepping up to bat for the first time here in game number 2. Lojo, in his 3 appearances at the plate, struck out by Lott. He sees a strike from Courtney, counts 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch, that one's going to be grounded up the left field line, counts now 0-2. And in just the top of the first, Salem has seen everybody in their batting order step up to the plate. Definitely a big shift from what we saw yesterday. A lot of 3 up, 3 downs, and we're going to say that's a ball, 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch from Courtney. That one hits well into center field, but Opada makes the play. So that's going to take us to the bottom of the first. But the Tigers striking early in this one, up 3-0 on North Georgia. We'll see how the Nighthawks respond when we return. Jace Bowen's going to lead things off. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
She has her whole life in front of her and already has a world-class heart team behind her. And so does every generation of her family, thanks to Georgia Heart Institute. Every day, our cardiologists, heart surgeons, and vascular surgeons bring breakthroughs that save and improve lives for generations. So whether you need heart care today or in 2073, we'll be here with the very best for your heart. Georgia Heart Institute.
Meet Harper. Harper was born to care and always had your back. Like the time she spotted a friend's rogue retainer, a threat of a permanent overbite, and made the save just in time.
I got you. Thanks.
Today, Harper still has your back as a teammate at Truist, the bank with Truist One checking.
I got you. Thanks.
With no overdraft fees, a negative balance buffer, and automatic upgrades, it's the checking account that has your back.
Back with you here in Dahlonega, where it's a 3-0 ball game early. Tigers on top of the Nighthawks, and they have been on fire to start out this game. Definitely a complete 180 from what we saw from Salem in game number 1. We'll see how the Nighthawks respond here with Jace Bowen leading things off for North Georgia, as he has been all season long.
Definitely a start North Georgia did not want to see, being down 3-0 in the bottom of the first inning, but the Nighthawks did get 9 hits and 5 runs yesterday, so we'll see how the batting side of the team responds to the 3-0 deficit.
And they're going to have to face off against Sam Schmidt on the mound for Salem. And Schmidt's first pitch here in game number 2 is a ball. It's a 1-out count for Bowen. Schmidt with a 2.52 ERA. He's pitched just over 53 innings for the Tigers, allowing 37 hits, 15 earned runs. He's got 78 strikeouts this year. Walked just 17 batters, allowed 5 home runs. And Schmidt, another dual threat player for the Tigers. We saw him at the plate yesterday in game number 1. He was unable to get a hit. And that one's going to be outside. It's a 3-1 count for Jace Bowen. And Schmidt not in the batting order for the Tigers in game 2. So we'll see plenty of action here on the mound, and that's going to be ball number 4. So Schmidt, his first assignment, walks Bowen to first. And here comes Riley Frost up to bat for North Georgia. Frost had that solo home run over the left field wall in his first plate appearance yesterday, so he'll be looking for more of the same here. But now he's got a runner on first in Jace Bowen. Frost also had an RBI in yesterday's game. He sees a ball go past him there. The count's 1-0. Another pickoff attempt at first. And North Georgia and Coach Cantrell going with the same batting order as game number 1, with Bowen, Frost, and Conway in the top 3, followed by Levenstein's batting cleanup, designated hitter for North Georgia. Now it's going to be inside for a strike, 1-1. Following up Levenstein's is Connor Frost, Edwin Bowman, Justin Bailey, Andrew Sopata, and then Jack Davis rounding out the batting order for the Nighthawks. Got another pickoff attempt at first. We've got a great crowd for you here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon in Dahlonega here at the Steiner. We had some not so great weather yesterday, delayed the game by about an hour. And because of potential inclement weather, we've now got a doubleheader between North Georgia and Salem today, as that one's going to be grounded into left, and Frost continues off of his success from yesterday. Grounds that one into left for the first hit in game number 2 for North Georgia.
Number 5, Tim Conway.
Here comes Tim Conway, a senior on this North Georgia squad. He had a hit and an RBI in game number 1. So now he's got runners on first and second. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Now it's going to be low for a ball, 1-0. As Schmidt gets his signal. Comes the 1-0 pitch to Conway. That one's going to be low as well. 2-0 for the senior. As Schmidt's going to have a quick convo here with his shortstop and his second baseman. Still a 2-0 count for Conway. And the 2-0 pitch, that one's be right down the middle for a strike, now 2-1. Schmidt still got his eye on second. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one's going to be popped up high into shallow right. And that's going to be a routine play there for the second baseman, Angarita, giving us the first out in the bottom of the first. And here comes the designated hitter, Nick Levensteins. Levenstein's a rather quiet game according to his standards yesterday. Was unable to get a hit for North Georgia. As we've mentioned before, Levenstein's returning from injury after he missed an extended period of time for North Georgia. And it's just a matter of time before we see him slid back into first base defensively for the Nighthawks. Counts 1-0. And that one's going to be inside, 1-1 for Levensteins. Still got runners on first and second for North Georgia. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And that one's going to be just inside, painting that top left corner of the zone. Now a 1-2 count. And the 1-2 pitch to Levenstein. He grounds this one into right, and the throw to second is going to be there on time. Frost unable to slide in safely there, giving us 2 outs. But now runners are going to be on the corners for Connor Frost. Frost also looking for his first hit of the weekend. Was unable to get one yesterday. We'll see what the senior can do here now with runners on the corners, 2 outs in the bottom of the first. And that pitch is going to cut it close for a ball, 1-0. As Schmidt got his eye on first. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Frost. That one's down the middle inside for a strike, 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch, that one's going to be grounded up the right field line, just fouled. Counts now 1-2. So a 1-2 count for Connor Frost. Got Levensteins on first. Bowen over at third. And the 1-2 pitch to Frost. That one's hit well into center field. And so Frost putting North Georgia on the board. Scores Bowen there, and it's just now a 3-1 ball game here at the Steiner.
North Georgia answering back to the 3-0 deficit they faced after the end of the top of the first. Get 1 run in the bottom of the first.
So North Georgia with a response to Salem as Frost gets his first hit of the weekend. It's now a 3-1 ball game with Edwin Bowman up to bat for the Nighthawks. He sees a ball in the dirt, counts 1-0. Now he's got runners on first and second in Levensteins and Connor Frost. And the 1-0 pitch to Bowman, and he pops this one high into right, but that one is going to go over the fence there in foul territory by Coleman Fieldhouse. Counts 1-1. Bowman saw a lot of success at the plate yesterday. He had 2 hits in his 3 appearances at the plate, was able to reach base every time he saw the plate, and he's now in a 1-1 count. And he hits this one well into left, but the throw to second's going to get away, and so Levenstein's going to take advantage of that, and he's going to cross home plate. Now it's a 3-2 ball game.
North Georgia answering right back.
So what should have been a routine play there for the Tigers' second baseman was unable to corral that one in. Levenstein saw that, took advantage, was able to get to home plate pretty easily. And now things are much more manageable for the Nighthawks and Justin Bailey, who's up to bat. And that pitch from Schmitz outside for a ball, 1-0. Bailey did have a hit in yesterday's game. A classic Bailey bunt up the left line, and that one's going to be just fouled Counts now 1-1 for Justin Bailey. Almost saw another perfectly placed bunt there.
Definitely, would have easily gotten Connor Frost to cross home plate.
And Justin Bailey and Connor Frost ranking in the top 10 in the Peach Belt Conference in sacrifice bunts. And the 1-1 pitch to Bailey. He swings and misses on that. Now a 1-2 count for the senior. And the 1-2 pitch, that one's going to be tipped and fouled. Count stays at 1-2. And we mentioned yesterday, Bailey bunts have become a staple for the senior, but he's also not afraid to let one fly and send one over the wall as well. And the 1-2 pitch not coming quite yet. Pickoff attempt there at first. And the 1-2 pitch to Bailey. That one's outside, 2-2. And as Cooper would say, deuces are running wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Runners on the corners for Justin Bailey. And the 2-2 pitch. That one's tipped and fouled. So we got 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs with number 2 up to bat for North Georgia.
2-2-2-2.
And 2 runners on. That pitch outside, now a full count for Justin Bailey. And the full count pitch. And that one's going to cut it close. And so now bases are loaded for Andrew Sopata. And this Tigers infield going to have conversation here on the mound.
Definitely not a start you wanted for Salem either. Coming, putting 3 runs up on the board in the top of the first after pretty much getting outplayed by North Georgia, then only to allow 2 runs in the bottom of the first and then bases loaded for a second time in this inning.
And Andrew Sopata had himself quite the day yesterday as well. And North Georgia has had great plate discipline all season long. They've got 2 players ranking in the top 10 in the Peach Belt in walks. Chase Bowen with 29, Connor Frost with 28.
Number 28, Andrew Sopata.
Speaking of 28, Andrew Sopata up to bat for North Georgia.
Surprised we haven't seen any strikeouts from Sam Schmidt yet of Salem. He's 7th in Division II with 78 strikeouts on the season.
Definitely a bit uncharacteristic from him to open up this game. And he pitches a ball there to Opata, 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch, that one's going to be down the middle for a strike. Now 1-1 for Andrew Sopata. And we saw the Tigers in the top of the first see every batter in the batting order. We could potentially see that from North Georgia as well, with Jack Davis on deck rounding out the batting order, and that one's going to be hit but fouled. Counts now 1-2 for Opata. As Schmidt gets his signal. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's hit well, but caught by the second baseman. Angarita makes the play. Keeps this a one-run ball game, but the Nighthawks with an answer to the Tigers. It's a 3-2 ball game. North Georgia trails this one by 1 run. We're headed to the top of the second. You're watching North Georgia baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Greatness. Greatness is defined as striving to succeed. It is giving everything you have to achieve your goals. It's not defined by the numbers of games you lose, the numbers of shots you miss, but it's the risk in failing that will define your greatness. You earn it by showing up early, by pushing yourself every day, by working harder than everyone else. And when you've reached that point of giving up, you don't. Most people are good, others are great. Find your greatness.
How do you create something that's different than everyone else? You do it differently than everyone else. Here at Copeland Creative, we specialize in telling captivating stories of wild people, wild things, and wild places. We don't just capture the story, we immerse ourselves in it. We are a diverse, multi-talented media house based in North Georgia, and if you have a story that needs told, we want to help you tell it.
Back with you here in Dahlonega, where it's a 3-2 ball game. Tigers on top of the Nighthawks early, and Salem doing a complete 180 from their performance at the plate in game number 1. And now the Tigers return to the top of their batting order to open up the second with Luis Angarita. And he grounded out in his first appearance at the plate. Here in game number 2, he sees a ball go past him there from Daniel Courtney. And he tips this one fouled, 1-1. And Devin, you were talking with me over the break. You had an interesting stat about the Tigers pitcher, Sam Schmidt.
Yes, I do. And out of the last 8 games that, or actually out of the last 9 games that Sam Schmidt has pitched, he's only had 2 games below 8 strikeouts this season. That would be 7 and 6 strikeouts.
And that one's
2 games below 8.
Going to get down and right for Angarita, so he gets his first hit of the weekend. That one falling just fair. So now that puts a runner on first for Air. Air was able to get a hold of the ball the first time he saw the plate today. He swings hard and misses on that. Count's going to be 0-1. Another pickoff attempt there at first. Count stays at 0-1. Mound's going to be high and outside. Now 1-1. Yesterday we saw Wes Lott go the distance, pitching all 9 innings for North Georgia. And Devin, how crucial is it now with a doubleheader today for Coach Cantrell to have a full arsenal of pitchers in his back pocket?
Well, I think it's a big deal with how Wes Lott played yesterday, not having to use any other pitcher. Now you have pitchers ready for the next 2 games, this game and the next game that we're going to be playing later today. So you have more of your aces in your back pocket than you would normally have on, let's say, a normal game 1 for the Nighthawks.
And that pitch from Courtney is going to be outside. Now 2-1. It'll be interesting to follow the pitching story here in our doubleheader. Courtney has already allowed 3 runs and 4 hits. Counts now 3-1. That's Courtney. He's not going to deliver the pitch quite yet. Another pickoff attempt. We saw a lot of those in game number 1. especially from Salem, kind of slowed down the tempo of the game a bit, especially to open things up. That one's hit well into left. Bailey is there, running up to make the catch for the first out in the top of the second with Caden Zacharias stepping back up for the Tigers. And Zacharias was hit by pitch last time he was at the plate. May have to ice that one in the morning. And that pitch from Courtney is going to be outside for a ball, 1-0. As we were just mentioning, the first 3 innings of yesterday's game got off to a bit of a slow start with all the pickoff attempts, as we see another one there, but that 4th, 5th, and 6th inning went by in light speed. So we definitely didn't see as many in the middle of the game. Then to round out game 1, a lot of more pickoff attempts. Flip to second on time, and the throw to first going to be there on time. And so the frost-to-frost connection at second, getting the out, and the throw to first, making the double play. And that's going to take us to the bottom of the second, where it's still a 3-2 ball game. Tigers on top of the Nighthawks. You're watching North Georgia baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
With 6 locations across Northeast Georgia, Howard Brothers Outdoor Power Equipment and Hardware is trusted by both professional landscapers and residential homeowners for all their outdoor equipment needs. To learn more about the family-owned business that keeps Georgia green, visit howardbrothers.com. Bryan Properties is a commercial real estate brokerage firm serving Northeast Georgia. Located in nearby Cumming, Georgia, Bryan Properties specializes in commercial real estate along the Georgia 400 corridor. For more information on Bryan Properties, visit bryanproperties.net. The UNG bookstore is operated by Barnes & Noble and is located in the Chastity Building beside Starbucks in downtown Dahlonega. Fans and students can visit in person or online at ung.bncollege.com for all your Nighthawk apparel and textbook needs for the upcoming season.
Back with you here at the Steiner, where it's a 3-2 ball game. Tigers on top of the Nighthawks. Salem unable to add to their lead in the top of the second. We'll see if North Georgia can tie this one up or potentially take the lead, with Jack Davis leading things off for the Nighthawks. Davis also the man behind the plate for North Georgia defensively today. Davis with a .203 batting average. This is his 80th appearance at the plate, and he tips this one fouled. Got 16 hits this year, 17 RBIs, and 2 home runs. His last home run, a grand slam, rounding out the batting order for North Georgia. And he gets this one into shallow right. That's going to be an out. There, he looks like he got a hold of that one more than he anticipated. Check swing hit there. So now the Nighthawks return to the top of their batting order with Jace Bowen. And he was walked in his first appearance at the plate.
Both teams had both of their batters at the start of the starting lineup show up in their respective second inning. Gone through a lot of batters this game on both sides.
And that one's going to be a strike. Now 1-1 for Jace Bowen. And the 1-1 pitch, that one's tipped and fouled. Now 1-2. Bowen's still ranking in the top 5 in batting average in the Peach Belt Conference. He's remained in the top 10 all season long, now with a .357 batting average. And the 1-2 pitch to Bowen. He grounds this one over to the short, and he'll make the throw to first on time for out number 2. And so now Riley Frost stepping back up for North Georgia. That dynamic duo of Riley Frost and Jace Bowen sitting atop the Peach Belt Conference in hits with 56 for Bowen and 54 for Frost. Frost also ranking in the top 10 in RBIs this season in the Peach Belt with 33. And that pitch is going to go off the glove of Shin. Counts 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be high and outside, now 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch, that one's going to be tipped and fouled. Back towards us, but caught by the net, now 2-1. As Schmidt gets his signal, here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one's going to be outside. Good eye there from Frost, now 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch to Frost. That one's hit well into left, but that one's going to be fouled. That one's soaring over the Tigers' bullpen. Counts are now full for Riley Frost. And the Nighthawks also didn't find themselves in too many full counts yesterday. Frost finds himself in one here. No runners on for North Georgia. Here comes the full count pitch. And that one's going to be tipped, fouled. Count stays full. And the full count pitch. That one's high and outside for ball number 4. And so Frost is going to be walked to first with Tim Conway stepping back up for North Georgia. Conway looking for his first hit here in game number 2. Nighthawks already have a couple in this one, courtesy of Riley Frost and Connor Frost. Now it's going to be grounded up the right field line, but fouled, 0-1. Schmidt gets his signal. Still got his eye on Frost at first. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Conway. He swings hard and misses on that. Counts now 0-2 for the senior. Schmidt still got his eye over on first. The 0-2 pitch to Conway. He hits this one well into right. Foul territory, but it's going to be caught. Nice play there from the Tigers infield. And that's going to take us to the third, where it's still a 3-2 ball game. Tigers on top of the Nighthawks. We'll see if they can potentially extend their lead when we return. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the Steiner, where it's a 3-2 ball game. Tigers on top of the Nighthawks. Now with Tyler Shin back up to bat. Shin's got a hit and an RBI already in this one, and that one's going to be fouled. Counts 0-2. Nighthawks still rolling with Daniel Courtney on the mound. And the 0-2 pitch from Courtney, that one's going to bounce in the dirt for a ball, 1-2. As Courtney gets his signal, here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be just outside, 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch, that one's hit well into right field. And Conway's going to make the grab there for the first out in the top of the third. Now with Nathan Kuhn stepping back up to bat for the Tigers.
Number 6, Nathan Kuhn.
And over in Milledgeville, North Georgia softball looks to continue their dominance as the number 1 team in Division II softball. With a road series against Georgia College, they're in the middle of Game 1 of their doubleheader with the Bobcats. It's a 6-7 ball game. Bobcats on top of the Nighthawks in the top of the 6th. Now it's going to be grounded over to Frost. He'll make the throw to first on time for the second out here in the top of the third.
Mentioned talking about North Georgia softball. They were down 7-4 earlier in the game, but Nighthawks have climbed their way back up, and it's only a 1-run game. And we talked about it earlier in the week when we were doing the softball game. Every game, especially those Peach Belt games, are huge for the Nighthawks as they're only a game and a half ahead of Columbus State.
And now it's going to be popped up high into shallow right, and Frost there to make the routine play. So a quick 3 up, 3 down for North Georgia, taking us to the bottom of the third. We'll see if the Nighthawks can tie this one up or potentially take the lead when we return. You're watching North Georgia baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Chick-fil-A of Dahlonega is the presenting sponsor of the Nighthawk of the Week program. From supporting local charities to hosting school spirit nights, Chick-fil-A restaurants are committed to giving back in ways that are most meaningful to their customers. If you're looking for great food nearby, it is Chick-fil-A's pleasure to serve you. United Logistics is a veteran-owned and relationship-driven company with a goal of being an integral part of the community, providing safe transportation and shipping solutions, and being recognized as one of the leading providers of transportation nationwide. Visit unitedlogistics.net for more information. Established in 1984 in nearby Clermont, Georgia, the Chattahoochee Group is a local company that's grown to include construction, streetscaping, modular walls, metal buildings, disposal, concrete, sports field installation, site work, and more. To learn more about the Chattahoochee Group's wide range of project offerings, visit chatgroupinc.com.
Back with you here at the Steiner. It's still a 3-2 ball game. Tigers lead the Nighthawks by a run with Nick Levenstein's up to bat for North Georgia, leading things off here in the bottom of the third, and he sees a strike right down the middle from Schmidt. Counts now 0-1. And that one's hit well into right over to the Nighthawks bullpen. Counts 0-2. Levenstein still looking for his first hit of the weekend. That one's going to be popped up high into left. And that one's going to be caught Another nice play there from the Tigers infield, giving us the first out here in the bottom of the third. Now with Connor Frost back up to bat.
Yeah, that was an interesting sequence of events. That thing looked like it was going to be outside of, well, it was in foul territory, but it looked like it was just going to be on the, just right over on the left field fence, but
and that one's popped up high, well into right field. And another routine play for the Tigers. And now 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the third is going to bring up Edwin Bowman. We'll see what the freshman can do here with no runners on for North Georgia. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the third. Bowman tips this one fouled, 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch to Bowman. He swings hard and misses on that. Now a quick 0-2 count for the freshman. Nighthawks were able to get a quick 3 up, 3 down in the top of the third. We'll see if the Tigers can do the same. And the 0-2 pitch to Bowman. That one's going to be grounded into shallow center. They'll throw to first on time. And so another quick 3 up, 3 down here at the Steiner. And that's going to take us to the fourth. Tigers still lead the Nighthawks by a run. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Here in Dahlonega, we treasure our history.
We treasure our waterfalls.
We treasure our wine.
But most of all, we treasure our guests.
We are a family.
We treasure our community.
And we're an experience for you to discover.
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 The heart of the Georgia mountains.
The heart of the Georgia mountains.
Discover the heart of the Georgia mountains.
The mountains are open.
Back with you here in Dahlonega, where we are already underway here in the top of the fourth. Ben Matos was just up to bat, but he hit a ball right to Connor Frost, and he makes the easy throw to first for out number 1 here in the top of the fourth. Now Aaron Forbes up to bat for the Tigers. Forbes 1 for 1 today. And he sees a strike go by him there. The count's going to be 0-1 for Forbes. Now 1-1 for Forbes. We were mentioning North Georgia softball there in the top of the third, where it's a 6-7 ball game. Nighthawks trail the Bobcats by a run in the top of the 6th. Nighthawks have scored off of an Olivia Sinkfield triple to center field. A Georgia Blair homer to left center in the top of the 2nd. As that one's going to be tipped and fouled. And in the top of the fourth, a Sophie Mooney single to left field, and then Hannah forehand double to left field. RBI scoring Mooney. And that one's going to be hit well into right. So another base hit here for the Tigers back at the Steiner. And so we will have updates on the North Georgia softball game as game number 1 of their doubleheader closes out. It's the top of the 6th with runners on first and second for North Georgia. And that pitch from Courtney is going to be in the dirt, which is going to advance Forbes to second. Now with Jose Lojo up to bat. And the 1-0 pitch to Lojo. He tries to bunt here. It's going to be tipped and fouled. Now 1-1. Lojo rounding out the batting order for the Tigers. He's got Angarita on deck. And the 1-1 pitch to Courtney. From Courtney, he swings and misses. Now 1-2 count for Lojo. As Courtney gets his signal, here comes the 1-2 pitch. Now it's going to be grounded over to Frost. He'll gather, make the throw to first on time. Bowman using the stretch a bit there for 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Just a runner on third for the Tigers. Now with Luis Angarita back up to bat.
Number 1, Luis Angarita.
Angarita was able to get a hit last time he saw the plate, his first of the weekend. And he sees a pitch from Courtney outside of the zone, 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch, that one's going to be hit into shallow left, and the throw to first is not going to get there on time. And so another run is going to get up on the board. Angarita with the RBI there for the Tigers as they now hold a 4-2 lead over the Nighthawks. With Brett Ayers stepping back up into the batter's box for Salem. Ayer also has a hit in this one in his first appearance at the plate. He swings hard and misses on that. Counts 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch, that one's going to be inside. Now a quick 0-2 count for Ayer. He's got Angarita over on first. 2 outs in the top of the 4th. And the 0-2 pitch, that one's going to be tipped and fouled. Count stays at 0-2. Angarita was making a break for it to second. And 0-2 pitch, not coming quite yet. Another pickoff attempt. Bowman was ready for it. Another pickoff attempt. And they are going to get the out there at first. Angarita unable to get back to the bag in time But the Tigers put another run on the board. It's a 4-2 ball game. Salem over North Georgia. We'll see how the Nighthawks respond when we return in the bottom of the fourth. You're watching North Georgia baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here in Dahlonega, where Justin Bailey's going to lead things off for the Nighthawks. He shows bunt there. Count's going to be 0-1. Nighthawks trailing the Tigers by 2 runs. Bailey was walked last time he saw the plate. And he shows another bunt here. Count's moving to 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch, that one's hit well into center field. And a diving catch made by the center fielder, Loho.
Loho coming up with that dive and reception for out number 1 in the bottom of the fourth. And the key for North Georgia is to get hits and get on base and get some runs, as they're down by 2 runs right now, which they were able to do yesterday, and they just got to get themselves back into a rhythm.
Absolutely. North Georgia opening up this game offensively with a nice response to the Tigers. They have unfortunately been able to put any runs on the board since the bottom of the first, and Opata swings hard on that one and misses. Now a quick 0-2 count for the freshman. And the 0-2 pitch to Opata, that one's going to be just outside for a ball, 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch to Opata, he gets a hold of that one high into left field. That's going to be popped up and caught by Hurley over there left. Now 2 quick outs in the bottom of the fourth with Jack Davis stepping back up to the plate.
Number 4, Jack Davis.
Davis grounded out last time he was at the plate, so he'll be looking for a different outcome here. North Georgia does not have a runner on. Davis swings at that one and misses, 0-1. And the pitch from Schmidt going to be low in the dirt for a ball. Now 1-1 for Jack Davis. And the 1-1 pitch, that one's high and outside. Now 2-1. If Davis is able to get on, he's got Jace Bowen on deck. Nighthawks can return to the top of their batting order. And the 2-1 pitch to Davis. He grounds this one into shallow left. Gather, throw to first, well on time. And so Another 3 up, 3 down for the Tigers, taking us to the 5th. They still hold a 2-run lead over North Georgia. When we return, you're watching North Georgia baseball over the Nighthawk Sports Network.
She has her whole life in front of her and already has a world-class heart team behind her. And so does every generation of her family, thanks to Georgia Heart Institute. Every day, our cardiologists, heart surgeons, and vascular surgeons bring breakthroughs that save and improve lives for generations. So whether you need heart care today or in 2073, we'll be here with the very best for your heart. Georgia Heart Institute.
Meet Harper. Harper was born to care and always had your back. Like the time she spotted a friend's rogue retainer, a threat of a permanent overbite, and made the save just in time.
I got you. Thanks.
Today, Harper still has your back as a teammate at Truist, the bank with Truist One checking.
I got you. Thanks.
With no overdraft fees, a negative balance buffer, and automatic upgrades, it's the checking account that has your back.
Back with you here at the Steiner, where it's still a 4-2 ball game. Tigers on top of the Nighthawks as we head to the top of the 5th. Now with Brett Ayer up to bat for the Tigers. And the Nighthawks still rolling with Daniel Courtney on the mound. He's allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 of those runs being earned, and he's only walked 1 batter in this one. He pitches a strike there, counts 0-1. Now it's going to be grounded right back to Frost. He'll slide, gather that ball, and make the throw to first. On time for out number 1 in the top of the 5th. Nice job there from Frost to slide and get in front of that ball. Giving us the first out here in the top of the 5th. Now with Caden Zacharias stepping back up for the Tigers. Zacharias looking for his first hit of the day. He was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. He grounded out last time he saw the plate. Sees a strike go by him there from Courtney. Counts 0-1. He grounds this one near the Nighthawks dugout. Now a quick 0-2 count for Zacharias. As Courtney gets his signal, here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be in the dirt for a ball, 1-2. Courtney gets a signal. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's hit well into right, and that's going to get down for another base hit for the Tigers. And Zacharias slipped there for a moment. And Bowman almost was able to make the tag there after a nice hit from Zacharias over into right. And so now that puts a runner on first for Tyler Shin, who does have a hit and an RBI in this game already. That pitch from Courtney's well outside for a ball, 1-0. We can still see some action going on in the Nighthawks bullpen. A couple pitchers getting warmed up. As that pitch from Courtney's going to be just outside that top right corner of the zone. Now 2-0. Bowman still ready for that pickoff attempt. And yesterday's win now pushes North Georgia to a perfect 8-0 against Salem. And wins here in games 2 and 3 today would give them a double-digit lead in wins all time against this squad. Counts now 3-0. Tigers a newer opponent for the Nighthawks, having played their first game against each other on February 7th, 2014. Game that ended in a 3-0 Nighthawks W. And the 3-0 pitch, now it's going to be right down the middle for a strike, 3-1 for Shin. Got another pickoff attempt over there at first. Count still 3-1. And now it's going to be grounded over to Bowen, and he'll make the throw to first on time for out number 2. And so now that's going to put a runner on second for Kuhn after Zacharias was able to advance to second. Kuhn also looking for his first hit of the day. Now we got 2 outs in the top of the 5th. A runner on second for the Tigers. That pitch from Courtney is going to be outside, 1-0. Courtney gets the signal. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be down the middle inside for a strike, 1-1. Kuhn leads the Tigers in batting average this season with a .302 batting average. He tips this one high into shallow field. That's going to be caught by Courtney for out number 3. Routine play there for the Nighthawks, taking us to the bottom of the 5th. Where it's still a 4-2 ball game. Tigers lead the Nighthawks by a couple of runs. We'll see how North Georgia responds when we return. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Chick-fil-A of Dahlonega is the presenting sponsor of the Nighthawk of the Week program. From supporting local charities to hosting school spirit nights, Chick-fil-A restaurants are committed to giving back in ways that are most meaningful to their customers. If you're looking for great food nearby, it is Chick-fil-A's pleasure to serve you. United Logistics is a veteran-owned and relationship-driven company with a goal of being an integral part of the community, providing safe transportation and shipping solutions, and being recognized as one of the leading providers of transportation nationwide. Visit unitedlogistics.net for more information. Established in 1984 in nearby Clermont, Georgia, the Chattahoochee Group is a local company that's grown to include construction, streetscaping, modular walls, metal buildings, disposal, concrete, sports field installation, site work, and more. To learn more about the Chattahoochee Group's wide range of project offerings, visit chatgroupinc.com.
Back with you here at the Steiner. It's a 4-2 ball game. Tigers over the Nighthawks. We'll see how North Georgia responds as they return to the top of their batting order with Jace Bowen leading things off for the Nighthawks in the bottom of the 5th. Bowen's been walked and he grounded out in his 2 appearances at the plate today. And he sees a ball go past him there. Counts 1-0. Quick update on North Georgia's softball game against Georgia College. The top of the 7th, still North Georgia trails the Bobcats by a run, 6-7 in the top of the 7th. The Nighthawks have a runner on second base. I believe that is Georgia Blair.
North Georgia making a make something happen in that game and come back and get the win. But good position to do it. Top of the 7th, no outs, runner on second.
We'll have updates on that game as soon as we get them. And that one's going to be tipped and fouled by Bowen. Counts 2-2. Are we getting the double peace signs from the home plate ump? Doesn't look like we're going to get them. Doesn't matter. Counts still 2-2. And that one's tipped and fouled by Bowen again. Stays at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch to Bowen, and he grounds this one over to the short. He'll gather, make the throw to first. Not on time, as looked like the first baseman over there, Zacharias, was off the bag, unable to make the tag on Bowen. And so now Riley Frost is going to get another crack at it here, this time with a runner on first and Jace Bowen. And it is now over in Milledgeville, a tied ball game, 7-7. Georgia Blair scores after a Gracie Mixon single to left center. It counts 0-1 for Riley Frost back here at the Steiner. Another pickoff attempt there at first. And Georgia College, with the advantage of being the home team, will get a crack at it in the bottom of the 7th. And so North Georgia wants to come away with a W. They got to add on some more runs here in the top of the 7th, unless they hold the Bobcats scoreless in the bottom of the 7th, go to extra innings. Another pickoff attempt over here at first.
Gotta watch out for that softball team. Once they get some momentum going, they can really start to do some damage to opposing teams.
As that pitch from Schmidt's going to be low, 1-1. And North Georgia softball trying to prove why they are the #1 ranked team in the nation. And the 1-1 pitch to Frost, high and outside, now 2-1 for the sophomore. And we mentioned in yesterday's game, Frost with an impressive freshman campaign last year, and he has improved in every single category this season for North Georgia. Frost with a .338 batting average. Coming into this game, he's got 54 hits, 5 home runs, excuse me. That leads the team. 33 RBIs. Also leads the Nighthawks as well. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Frost, and that one's sent high into right field. And a play is not going to be made. A couple of outfielders there over in right for the Tigers trying to make a play over in foul territory. So the count's going to be 2-2 for Riley Frost. Would have been another great play for Salem to get the out in foul territory.
Yeah, it was a close one. You had two players right over there, but the right fielder just had to slide a little bit just to be able to get to the ball, but wasn't able to get there on time.
And that one's hit well into center field. And that's going to be routine play for Loho over there at the 390 marker. Giving us the first out in the bottom of the 5th. Now Tim Conway stepping back up to bat for North Georgia. Conway still searching for his first hit here in game number 2. Conway, a veteran leader on this Nighthawk squad. He's got two more veteran leaders following him up in the batting order with Levenstein's on deck and Connor Frost following up Levenstein's. As that pitch from Schmidt's going to be high and outside for a ball, 1-0. Schmidt so far has allowed just 2 hits from North Georgia, 2 runs scored, one of those being earned, and he's walked 3 batters in this game. And the 1-0 pitch to Conway, again high and outside, 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch to Conway, that one's going to be outside as well, now 3-0. Don't expect to see Conway swing on this next pitch. And the 3-0 count is now going to be 4-0, and so 4 straight balls thrown from Schmidt there. He's not too pleased with himself, walking Conway over to first. Now that's going to put runners on first and second for Nick Levensteins. Levensteins batting cleanup for North Georgia today, the designated hitter. Looking to get his bat warmed up here. And he sees a strike right down the middle. Nice little rebound pitch there from Schmidt. Makes it an 0-1 count.
Levensteins has 15 RBIs. Only has 1 home run on the season. Looking for a second home run. Be nice to get one here.
Was able to get that home run before he went down with a hand injury. Comes the 0-1 pitch to Levensteins. Outside for a ball. Now 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch to Levensteins down the middle. Now 1-2. We've got some great weather here in Dahlonega. 74 degrees. Sun is shining. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Levensteins. Going to be outside now, 2-2.
We're at that point in the year where the weather's pretty much just perfect. It is probably starting to inch towards the warmer side of things, but great weather to have a doubleheader today.
And the 2-2 pitch to Levensteins. He gets a hold of that one high into right center field, and that's going to be a base hit for Levensteins and an RBI as he scores Chase Bowen. Levensteins getting things going here for North Georgia. Now makes it a 3-4 ball game. Nighthawks trail by just a run. Levensteins showing off some senior leadership right there. And so now another vet for North Georgia, Connor Frost, up to bat. Frost has got a hit and RBI in this game already. He'll look to add to his total here. And that pitch from Schmidt's going to be inside 0-1. And it looked like it was going to be a pickoff attempt there at second. Schmidt fakes the throw. Count still 0-1 for Connor Frost. And the 0-1 pitch, that one sent high into right center field. And that's going to be caught by the center fielder as Conway makes a break for it to third. And so now runners are going to be on the corners for Edwin Bowman.
Number 24, Edwin Bowman.
Bowman, 16 RBIs on the year. Looking to tie the game up.
And Bowman had a nice game yesterday in North Georgia's win over Salem. He's looking for his first hit of the evening here in game number 2. We'll see what he can do here with runners on the corners, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. And that one's going to be high and outside, 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch to Bowman. He gets this one down and left. And here come the Hawks. Edwin Bowman tying this ball game up. That RBI sends Conway home. And now, just like that, it's a 4-4 ball game at the Steiner.
And that's what you want to see is a tie game, 4-4. North Georgia responding.
So now, Schmidt and Shin can have a conversation here along with the rest of his infield as they try to get back on the same page here. They've allowed 2 runs for North Georgia here in the bottom of the 5th.
Quite surprised we haven't seen Schmidt throw a strikeout this game yet, because when you look at his past 9 games, he's thrown at least 6 strikeouts in a game, and so far we're in the bottom of the 5th, and we really haven't seen that from him this game.
And as you mentioned earlier, Schmidt, one of the best players in Division II baseball in getting strikeouts. And so, definitely quite surprising that he does not have one under his belt today.
Number 2, Justin.
He's walked 4 batters in this one. Now Justin Bailey up to bat for North Georgia. Runners on first and second. Schmidt got his eye on second. Pitches a ball there. Now 2-0 for Justin Bailey. Still got runners on first and second. The 2-0 pitch to Bailey outside. Now 3-0. Wouldn't be surprised if Bailey neglects to swing here. And the 3-0 pitch. That one's going to be inside. Now 3-1 for Justin Bailey. And another ball here from Schmidt would load the bases for Andrew Sopata, who's on deck. And the 3-1 pitch. Bailey swings hard on that and misses. Counts now full. So Justin Bailey started up 3-0, now finds himself in a full count. And the full count pitch. That one's driven high into right center field, and that's going to get down for another base hit. Justin Bailey puts the Nighthawks on top, and this one scores Levensteins. And now it's a 5-4 ball game. Bailey, the veteran leader on this squad, stepping up for the Nighthawks, and he's no stranger to getting North Georgia back into games when they're behind.
Definitely another base hit, another RBI for Bailey, and Nighthawks take the first lead of the game.
So now Andrew Sopata up to bat for North Georgia. He's got runners on the corners.
And the last 2 runs have been with 2 outs on the board.
And Opata sees a ball there. The count's 1-0. And the Nighthawks, as you just mentioned, doing a great job of extending this inning here in the bottom of the 5th. And the 1-0 pitch to Opata. That one's driven well into left field. And that's getting over the left fielder. Nighthawks staying hot here. And runners are going to stay put. That double from Andres Opata keeps the bottom of the 5th alive. Another run here scored for North Georgia as Edwin Bowman was able to get across home plate. And it's now a 6-4 ball game. North Georgia finds himself up by a couple runs.
North Georgia seems like they're finding a little bit of that magic they had in yesterday's game against Salem.
So now with 4 runs scored in the bottom of the 5th, that's the most that the Nighthawks have put up in an inning against Salem this weekend. We'll see what Jack Davis can do here for North Georgia. Try to extend this inning. As you mentioned, Devin, the Nighthawks have put up most of their runs here in the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs. And Davis.
Yeah, and the impressive thing, too, is a lot of those runs have been all with 2 outs on the board. So no sacrifices to the outfield to get runs in.
And Davis sees a strike go by him there. Counts 0-1. He's got runners on 2nd and 3rd. And the 0-1 pitch to Davis. He swings and misses on that. Counts now 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch to Davis. He swings and misses on that. And so Schmidt gets his first strikeout of the day, leaving runners stranded on 2nd and 3rd for North Georgia. But the Nighthawks take the lead here in game number 2. They lead the Tigers 6-4 in this game. You're watching North Georgia baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
How do you create something that's different than everyone else? You do it differently than everyone else. Here at Copeland Creative, we specialize in telling captivating stories of wild people, wild things, and wild places. We don't just capture the story, we immerse ourselves in it. We are a diverse, multi-talented media house based in North Georgia, and if you have a story that needs told, we want to help you tell it.
Greatness. Greatness is defined as striving to succeed. It is giving everything you have to achieve your goals. It's not defined by the numbers of games you lose, the numbers of shots you miss, but it's the risk in failing that will define your greatness. You earn it by showing up early, by pushing yourself every day, by working harder than everyone else. And when you've reached that point of giving up, you don't. Most people are good, others are great. Find your greatness.
Back with you here in Dahlonega, where it's a 6-4 ball game. The Nighthawks take the lead over the Tigers, and speaking of the Nighthawks taking the lead, North Georgia softball taking a 10-7 lead over the Bobcats over in Milledgeville as we head to the bottom of the 7th.
Seems like both softball and baseball teams are riding a little bit of momentum in the 2 innings that they're in.
And those scoring plays in the top of the 7th. A Gracie Mixon single to left center, scoring Georgia Blair. Hannah Forehand reaching on a fielder's choice RBI. Sophie Mooney advancing to second. Jolie Lester scoring. And then Olivia Sinkfield double to left center, scoring 2 RBIs. Hannah Forehand advancing to third. Sophie Mooney scoring a run. And it's a 10-7 ball game over in Milledgeville. And back here at the Steiner, counts now 1-1 for Jacob Hurley. Hurley still looking for his first hit in this game, and he sees a pitch from Courtney in the dirt, 2-1. And the Nighthawks still rolling with Daniel Courtney on the mound. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one's going to be grounded into left. Gets just by Bowen over there at third. And so Hurley getting his first hit of the afternoon. Able to get on first. And now Ben Matos up to bat. Matos is also looking for his first hit of the afternoon. See if he can build off some of that momentum Hurley set up for him here. And he grounds this one over to Bowen. He'll gather, make the throw to first on time for the first out here in the top of the sixth. Nice heads-up play there from Bowen. And so now Aaron Forbes up to bat. And Coach Cantrell looks like he's making a pitching substitution here. So that's going to be the end of the day for Daniel Courtney. He's allowed 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 of those runs being earned. He's walked just 1 batter in this one. So North Georgia's going to switch things up here on the mound. Coach Cantrell making a Wendy's call to the bullpen, and we'll have that pitching substitution for you here in just a moment. And that's going to be number 17, Ben Koch, now on the mound for North Georgia. And Ben Koch with a 7.20 ERA this season. He's pitched 20 innings for North Georgia, allowing 16 hits, 16 runs, all those runs being earned. He's struck out 13 batters this season. That's the second most on this team, or third most on this team, tied with Wes Lott. Or walked 13 batters, excuse me. He's struck out 17. He's allowed 3 home runs, holding his opponents to a .225 batting average. So we'll see what Koch can do here.
I think the key for North Georgia is going to be just be routine on defense, especially from what we saw last night. A lot of the plays that they made, they held up very well defensively, and I think that's just kind of a key going forward, just showing good form out there. And I think as long as the Nighthawks do that on the fielding and pitching side, I think we'll do okay.
And so Koch's going to get some warm-up pitches in here. And over in Milledgeville, at your ball game, 10-7, the Nighthawks taking the win in Game 1 of their doubleheader against Georgia College. A come-from-behind win for the number 1 ranked team in the nation. And Devin, even though the Nighthawks have dropped a few games at home as of recent, this is still a team with not only a Peach Belt Conference championship in mind, but a national championship as well.
Yeah, we have dropped some games lately at home, and well, I will say when you look at it, today's win's a big game, big win, Peach Belt opponent, and Georgia College. I would say one thing that,
and that grounder over into left field, it's gonna score a run for the Tigers, and it's now a 5-6 ball game. Salem now trails North Georgia by just a run after that RBI from Forbes.
And to continue about North Georgia softball, Georgia College, big win for North Georgia. I will say we have been facing some struggles as of late, but we still got some time left in the regular season, so it's better off that we find these struggles out now rather than any point later in the season.
And that win pushes them to 42-4 on the season. still a perfect record on the road. As that pitch from Koch is going to be outside now, 1-1. And North Georgia softball's got a doubleheader as well, game number 2, with a start time in about 30 minutes. So baseball and softball both with doubleheaders today. And we'll have updates on game 2 between North Georgia and Georgia College as that one moves along. Counts now 1-2 for Loho. And the 1-2 pitch, that one's hit well into left field, and that's going to get down for another base hit for the Tigers, putting runners on the corners for the man at the top of their batting order, Luis Angarita, who is back up to bat. And Angarita has been able to get hits in back-to-back plate appearances here for the Tigers. This is definitely dangerous territory for North Georgia, with just 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Tigers have been able to put another run up on the board. They've got 10 hits in this game as well. So head coach J.T. Heenan's going to have a quick conversation with his infield here. We mentioned yesterday J.T. Heenan in his second year at the helm of the baseball program for the Tigers, a former catcher for West Virginia University, served as a graduate assistant coach over there, helping leading the Mountaineers to a regional NCAA Division I championship. And off the field, he's an elementary and a high school special education teacher. And a steal attempt there over at second as that pitch is in the dirt and gets away from Davis. And so now runners are going to be on second and third for Luis Angarita as he finds himself in a 1-0 count. And the 1-0 pitch from Koch. That one's going to be high outside that top left corner of the zone, now 2-0. And Angarita's got Brett Ayer on deck. Angarita's caught a bit of fire here recently. He shows bunt here. We're going to say made it across the plate. Counts 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch to Angarita. He swings here, 2-2. Davis making the tag just to be safe. And Coach Cantrell, you can see, is motioning his team to play in here on Angarita. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and that one's going to hit Angarita in the foot, but it looks like it tips off his bat first. Angarita a little shaken up there. Count stays at 2-2. Looks to be okay. And the 2-2 pitch. That one's going to be left and outside of the zone. Now a full count for Angarita. As Koch gets his signal. And the full count pitch. That one's driven into right as the Tigers are going to tie this game up, potentially regain the lead, and they do. It's now a 7-6 ball game in favor of the Tigers after 2 RBIs there from Angarita. Slaps that one into right field. And so now Coach Cantrell stepping back up to the mound, and that's going to be the end of the day for Coke, allowing 2 hits and a couple runs scored here in the top of the 6th. And so now Coach Cantrell making his second Wendy's call to the bullpen in this game. We'll have the pitching substitution for you here in just a moment. I believe that's going to be number 3, Zach Green. And it is Zach Green now on the mound for North Georgia. Green this season with a 2.67 ERA. He's pitched just over 30 innings for North Georgia, allowing 26 hits, 9 runs, all of those runs being earned. He's walked 12 batters, struck out 24, allowing 2 home runs as well, holding his opponents to a .224 batting average. That .224 opposing batting average, the second lowest on this team behind Wes Lott, and he's tied with Reed Howard. So we'll see what the sophomore can do here for North Georgia, the third pitcher that the Nighthawks have seen here in game number 2. As the Tigers are trying to get their first win here against North Georgia, as the Nighthawks are 8-0 all-time against Salem University. But we've seen a couple times this year that the historical matchups for North Georgia have not really been a factor for them.
Yeah, and sometimes we have had points of this season where we've had long winning streaks broken, but you always want to start a new one too, which we've seen for some other teams we've played against earlier in the season.
And so now Brett Ayer is going to have to face off against Zach Green in his first assignment of the day. Ayer's got a hit in his 3 appearances at the plate. And Green's first pitch of the afternoon is going to be a strike. It's an 0-1 count for Brett Ayer. And he's got a runner on first in Angarita. Bowman's still ready for that pickoff attempt. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Green. That one's going to be outside for a ball, 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch to Ayer. He swings and drives this one high into center field with a routine play for Andrew Sopata. Going to leave Angarita on first now with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Caden Zacharias stepping back up for the Tigers. Zacharias also with a hit in this game. He's got a hit. He was hit by a pitch and grounded out on his 3 plate appearances for the Tigers here in game number 2. Another pickoff attempt over there at first. And Green pitches a ball there. Count's going to be 1-0. Green looking to leave Angarita stranded over there on first. Zacharias this season a .298 batting average. Got 21 RBIs and 37 hits. Those 37 hits are the most on this team. A steal attempt there over at second from Angarita. And he's not going to be able to slide in there on time. Heads up play there from the Nighthawks to get the out over at second. And so that's going to take us to the bottom of the sixth. But the Tigers regain the lead in this one. They're up on North Georgia 7-6. We'll see how the Nighthawks respond when we return. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Chick-fil-A of Dahlonega is the presenting sponsor of the Nighthawk of the Week program. From supporting local charities to hosting school spirit nights, Chick-fil-A restaurants are committed to giving back in ways that are most meaningful to their customers. If you're looking for great food nearby, it is Chick-fil-A's pleasure to serve you. United Logistics is a veteran-owned and relationship-driven company with a goal of being an integral part of the community, providing safe transportation and shipping solutions, and being recognized as one of the leading providers of transportation nationwide. Visit unitedlogistics.net for more information. Established in 1984 in nearby Clearmont, Georgia, the Chattahoochee Group is a local company that's grown to include construction, streetscaping, modular walls, metal buildings, disposal, concrete, sports field installation, site work, and more. To learn more about the Chattahoochee Group's wide range of project offerings, visit chatgroupinc.com.
Back with you here at the Steiner, where the Tigers lead the Nighthawks 7-6, regaining the lead there in the top of the sixth inning. We'll see how North Georgia responds here. Jace Bowen going to lead things off as the Nighthawks return to the top of their batting order, but they're going to have to face off against a new pitcher. Now on the mound for the Tigers is number 50, Travis Lavendiere. Lavendier's got a 5.70 ERA this season, pitched just over 23 innings for the Tigers, allowing 22 hits, 17 runs, 15 of those runs being earned. He's walked 10 batters, struck out 24. He's allowed 2 home runs, holding his opponents to a .242 batting average. And now Jace Bowen finds himself in a 2-0 count.
Last 4 games, Lavendiere has pitched. Hasn't allowed a run and has only allowed 3 hits in the last 4 games.
So he's probably just the pitcher that head coach JT Heenan wants to see in this situation. And they're going to say Bowen got his bat over the plate there. Counts 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch to Bowen, and he swings hard and misses on that one. And so Lavendier's first assignment of the afternoon, getting the strikeout on the Nighthawks. Lead off in the batting order with Jace Bowen, and now Riley Frost is going to get a crack at it here for the Nighthawks. That's going to be a strike from Travis Lavendiere. Counts 0-1 for Riley Frost. Now it's going to be inside as well. Now quick 0-2 count for Riley Frost. Lavendiere, a sophomore out of Buena Park, California, Lancaster High School. Coming a long way to play for Salem University. Counts now 1-2 for Riley Frost. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be inside for strike 3. Another strikeout for Lavendiere. So now Tim Conway's going to get a crack at it for North Georgia. Nighthawks do not have a run.
Lavendiere off to a hot start at the mound.
And that one's going to be outside. Low for a ball, 1-0. Lavendiere's trying to get a quick 3 up, 3 down here for North Georgia. The top 3 in the batting order for the Nighthawks. The 1-0 pitch to Conway. Going to be inside, 1-1. Some of the Nighthawks faithful here. A little upset with that strike call there. Comes the 1-1 pitch to Conway, and that one's driven high into right field, but it's going to be in foul territory as the Tigers are going to not be able to make a play there. Count's going to be 1-2 for Tim Conway. So a 1-2 count for the senior, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. 1-2 pitch. That one's driven high into right field, but fouled. Count stays at 1-2. Conway had a great swing on that one. Got a hold of the ball, but was unable to keep it fair. Stays at 1-2 for the senior. And the 1-2 pitch. And what are they going to call here? They're going to say that's a ball. Say his bat didn't get across the plate. It's now deuces are running wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. No runners on for North Georgia. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Now it's going to be grounded and over the Tigers' dugout. Count staying at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch to Conway. That one's going to be low for a ball. Now a full count for the senior. Conway looking for his first hit of the day. The full count pitch. That one's driven high into shallow left field. But that one is going to sail over the net near the Tigers' bullpen. Count's going to stay at 3-2. So Conway trying to keep this inning alive for North Georgia. He's done a great job battling here with Lavendiere. Now it's going to be grounded over to the short, and he'll make the throw to first on time for out number 3. And so a quick 3 up, 3 down from Lavendiere and the Tigers. And the top 3 in the batting order for North Georgia. That's going to take us to the 7th, where the Tigers still hold a 1-run lead over the Nighthawks. You're watching North Georgia baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Greatness. Greatness is defined as striving to succeed. It is giving everything you have to achieve your goals. It's not defined by the numbers of games you lose, the numbers of shots you miss, but it's the risk in failing that will define your greatness. You earn it by showing up early, by pushing yourself every day, by working harder than everyone else. And when you've reached that point of giving up, you don't. Most people are good, others are great. Find your greatness.
How do you create something that's different than everyone else? You do it differently than everyone else. Here at Copeland Creative, we specialize in telling captivating stories of wild people, wild things, and wild places. We don't just capture the story, we immerse ourselves in it. We are a diverse, multi-talented media house based in North Georgia, and if you have a story that needs told, we want to help you tell it.
Back with you here at the Steiner. It's a 7-6 ball game. Tigers hold a 1-run lead over the Nighthawks. And that's going to be a swing and a miss there from Zacharias, who's back up to bat for the Tigers. And we saw there in the bottom of the 6th, Tigers make a pitching substitution with Lavendier now on the mound, and he was able to get a quick 3 up, 3 down in the top 3 batters in North Georgia's batting order in Bowen, Frost, and Conway. Now it's going to be tipped and fouled by Zacharias. Count stays at 0-2. Zach Green on the mound for North Georgia. And the 0-2 pitch from Green, that one's going to be in the dirt for a ball, 1-2. Just a reminder, this is just game 1 of our doubleheader between the Nighthawks and the Tigers. Game 2 set to begin 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. And that pitch from Green is going to be left outside for a ball, 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch is going to get a swing and a miss there from Zacharias. So Green getting the strikeout there, and now Tyler Shin is going to step back up for the Tigers. And Shin in this one has a hit and an RBI today. We'll see if he can get more of the same here, or if Zach Green has something to say about that. Now one's going to be popped up into foul territory. Counts 0-1. Because Mother Nature had some different plans, what was supposed to be a 3-game series spanning across Friday, Saturday, and Sunday turned into a game yesterday and a doubleheader today. And the 0-1 pitch, that one's going to go off the glove of Davis, 1-1. And Devin, we've seen some changes to the schedule due to weather now for both baseball and softball, especially with North Georgia softball playing 5 games over 3 days last week. And do you think that's better that we have a doubleheader today, especially if North Georgia finds himself in a groove and they can carry that right over into game 3, or do you think that some time off to rest and recover in between games would be more beneficial for them?
Well, I said at the beginning of this game, I said, look, the North Georgia baseball, they're on a groove. They played really, really, really well last night, and I was thinking, you know what, doubleheader today. Maybe they're coming off that big win last night. They're still in a groove. Well, it's better off for them playing a doubleheader because they could be locked in the whole day. But a little bit later in the game, I'm not as sure. So,
and
might have been better to have that rest.
Absolutely, we've definitely seen some fatigue set in, especially for North Georgia softball, as we mentioned. 5 games over a 3-day stretch last week. During that stretch, they dropped a couple of games to their opponents. You can maybe trace that back to playing so much softball in such a little amount of time. The count's now 1-1 for Nathan Kuhn, who is up to bat for the Tigers. No runners on for Salem. And the 1-1 pitch from Green, that one's going to be outside, now 2-1 for Kuhn. And the 2-1 pitch. That one's going to hit Kuhn in the helmet. Green is going to step up to Kuhn and check on him, make sure he's all right. Kuhn took a shot to the helmet there. And it looks like Kuhn getting a little concussion test here. Looks to be all right, though. Great sign to see as he makes his way over to first. Definitely looked inadvertent from Zach Green. Immediately came up to check on him after that. So now a runner's going to be on first for Jacob Hurley.
Number 27, Jacob Hurley.
Hurley's got a hit, an RBI in this one, scored a run when he's been on base as well. And he swings and misses on that pitch from Green. Counts 0-1. Bowman's still ready for a pickoff attempt at first. The 0-1 pitch, another swing and a miss. Count's going to be 0-2. McCoon able to advance to second. Doesn't look too phased here. But it's an 0-2 count for Jacob Hurley back at the plate. And the 0-2 pitch from Green. That one's going to be grounded up the left field line. Foul ball. Count stays at 0-2. We see some action going on in both bullpens here at the Steiner. We mentioned West Lott going all 9 innings for North Georgia yesterday. So they had a fresh bullpen coming into this one. And we've already seen 3 pitchers here for the Nighthawks. The 0-2 pitch from Green. That one's going to be tipped and fouled. Count stays at 0-2. And Green waits for his signal. He gets it. And the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be high and outside that top right corner of the zone. Now 1-2. Pickoff attempt there at second, and the tag not on time. As Kuhn was able to get back on base, touch the bag right before Frost was able to get the out there. Still a 1-2 count for Jacob Hurley. Here comes the pitch from Green, and that one's going to be popped up high into center field. And a routine play for Andrew Sopata. It's going to take us to the 7th inning stretch. North Georgia will try to regain the lead when we return. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Here in Dahlonega, we treasure our history.
We treasure our waterfalls.
We treasure our wine.
But most of all, we treasure our guests.
We are a family.
We treasure our community.
And we're an experience for you to discover.
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 The heart of the Georgia mountains.
The heart of the Georgia mountains.
Discover the heart of the Georgia mountains.
The mountains are open.
Back with you here at the Steiner as the Tigers still lead the Nighthawks 7-6 in this game. Nick Levenstein's up to bat. He finds himself in a 1-1 count as the senior is going to lead things off for North Georgia here in the bottom of the 7th. And the 1-1 pitch to Levenstein's. That one's going to be grounded into right, and Levenstein's getting a base hit here for North Georgia. Able to get to first easily there. So now Connor Frost is going to step up for North Georgia. Levenstein's getting his second hit of the day right there. Frost also got a hit in this one as well. And that's going to be a strike down the middle from Lavendiere. Counts 0-1. Lavendiere already with 2 strikeouts today. As Frost bunts this one here, and he will not be able to make it to first in time, but that sacrifice bunt advances Levenstein to second, and sacrifice bunts become a routine play for Connor Frost. And him and Justin Bailey, those plays have become staples in their game for 2 very unselfish players who are willing to sacrifice some of their power to advance runners on base, and Frost does just that. Now Edwin Bowman up to bat for North Georgia. And that's going to be a ball. Bowman doesn't get his bat all the way over the plate. Counts 1-0.
Bowman 16 RBIs on the season, already 1 RBI today, looking to get his second RBI. Would be nice to see one here to tie the game up.
And the 1-0 pitch to Bowman. He grounds this one up the left field line, fouled. Near the Tigers' bullpen. Count's going to be 1-1. Lavendiere gets his signal. Got 11 signs on second. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Bowman. That one's going to be tipped and fouled back towards the net. Now a 1-2 count for the freshman Edwin Bowman. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be grounded up the right field line, but fouled. Count staying at 1-2. If Bowman's able to get something down and right, should be enough to score Levenstein's over there on second. And the 1-2 pitch gets Bowman swinging and missing there for strikeout number 3 for Lavendiere. And now Justin Bailey's going to get a crack at it here for the Nighthawks with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Bailey's 1 for 2 today. Got a hit and an RBI in this one. And again, if Bailey's able to get something down in that right outfield, should be enough to score Levenstein's. Counts 0-1 for Justin Bailey. And the 0-1 pitch gets Bailey swinging and missing on that. Now a quick 0-2 count for the senior. Bailey's got Opada on deck. And the 0-2 pitch. And that ump over at first, I was going to say Bailey didn't get his bat over the base. It's a 1-2 count. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's driven into left, but over near the Tigers' bullpen, fouled. Count staying at 1-2 for the senior. Lavendier gets his signal. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's driven high into right field. Popped up. And that's going to be caught by Kuhn over there in right for out number 3. And so that's going to take us to the 8th. Tigers still lead the Nighthawks by a run. It's a 7-6 ball game. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching North Georgia baseball on the Night. Back with you here at the Steiner. Still a 7-6 ball game. Tigers lead the Nighthawks by a run as we head to the top of the 8th with Ben Matos leading things off for the Tigers here. Matos looking for his first hit of the day. Grounded out twice, and he's been walked so far. And he swings and misses on that pitch from Zach Green. It's an 0-1 count. And the 0-1 pitch, right down the middle, counts 0-2. As Green gets his signal, comes the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be hit well into left field. And so Matos with a little rebound there, gets his first hit here in game number 2. And now that's going to put a runner on first for Aaron Forbes. And Forbes today has been on fire for the Tigers. He's 3 for 3. He's got a hit in every appearance at the plate for the Tigers. Got 2 RBIs as well. We'll see if Zach Green has something say about that. That's going to be a ball. Counts 1-0 for Forbes. And the 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be in the dirt, and so Matos is going to advance to second, and that one may have got a piece of Jack Davis's right hand. You see him shaking it off a bit. Counts 2-0 for Forbes. And the 2-0 pitch. That one's going to be grounded over into shallow left. Gather, throw to first. Going to be there on time, and so Forbes' streak comes to an end. He's out over there at first. That's going to advance Matos to third. Now with Jose Lojo up to bat, and Coach Cantrell's stepping back up to the mound here along with the rest of his infield. Doesn't look like he's signaled for a pitching substitution, so he may just be having a quick convo here with Zach Green. Making sure everybody's on the same page here. So we are ready to resume play for that timeout there from Coach Cantrell. Jose Lojo up to bat for the Tigers. He's got a hit in this one as well. One of the 12 hits for the Tigers as that pitch gets away from Davis. Manos is going to stay put over there at third. Counts now 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be tipped and fouled over the net. Actually, it's going to come back. Counts now 1-1.
One's across the board.
Got 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. 1 runner on. That's a bunt there from Lojo, and the flip to home is not going to get there. And that's going to be another run up on the board for the Tigers. They now hold an 8-6 lead over the Nighthawks. Matos able to slide in safely there. Lojo also able to get to first on that bunt attempt. And so now the Tigers return to the top of their batting order with Angarita. Now it's going to be grounded over to Frost, and he'll flip to second, make the play, flip to first, make the play. And so another Frost-to-Frost connection over at second, gets the out, and then Frost makes the throw to first for the double play. And so that's going to take us to the bottom of the 8th. Not before the Tigers can add to their lead. It's an 8-6 lead for Salem over North Georgia. We'll see how the Nighthawks respond when we return. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
She has her whole life in front of her and already has a world-class heart team behind her. And so does every generation of her family, thanks to Georgia Heart Institute. Every day, our cardiologists, heart surgeons, and vascular surgeons bring breakthroughs that save and improve lives for generations. So whether you need heart care today or in 2073, we'll be here with the very best for your heart. Georgia Heart Institute.
Meet Harper. Harper was born to care and always had your back. Like the time she spotted a friend's rogue retainer, a threat of a permanent overbite, and made the save just in time.
I got you. Thanks.
Today, Harper still has your back as a teammate at Truist, the bank with Truist One checking.
I got you. Thanks.
With no overdraft fees, a negative balance buffer, and automatic upgrades, it's the checking account that has your back.
Back with you here at the Steiner, where it's an 8-6 ball game. Tigers on top of the Nighthawks, able to add an insurance run there in the top of the 8th. We'll see what Andrew Sopata and his squad have something to say about it here. He sees a ball go past him at the plate, counts 1-0. Sopata 1 for 3 today. Got a hit and an RBI in this one as that pitch from Lavendier is going to be inside for a strike, 1-1. Opata now in a 3-way tie for 3rd place in the Peach Belt Conference in stolen bases this season with 17. And now it's popped up high and fouled. Count's now going to be 1-2 for the speedster, Andrew Sopata. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be low and in the dirt. Now 2-2. Got some more fans filing in here to the Steiner to watch doubleheader Peach Belt Conference baseball between North Georgia and Salem. And that one's going to be tipped and fouled by Opata. Count stays at 2-2.
Great crowd, great weather on hand. Can't ask for anything better.
2-2 pitch. That one's hit well into right, but fouled. It's going to hit the top of Coleman Fieldhouse. Count stays at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Now it's going to be grounded into center field, and Opata getting the base hit here for North Georgia. Able to get to first. And now Jack Davis is going to step up for the Nighthawks. It's actually going to be a pinch batter for North Georgia. Pinch hitting for the Nighthawks is number 22, Josh Sosa. Sosa swings hard and misses on that. Count's going to be 0-1. Sosa this season with a .246 batting average. This is his 70th appearance at the plate. He's got 17 hits, 14 RBIs, and 2 home runs this season. This is his first appearance against Salem this weekend.
Josh Sosa was the winner of a superlative award recently. Was voted best smile at the North Georgia Student Association formal on Thursday night.
Counts now 0-2 for Josh Sosa. And the 0-2 pitch, that one's going to be driven into right, fouled. Sosa had a nice swing there, wasn't able to keep the ball in play. Counts 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch to Sosa, going to be down the middle for a strikeout. That's going to be number 4 for Lavandiere. Getting the strikeout there on Sosa. So now Jace Bowen is going to step back up for North Georgia. Bowen still looking for his first hit here in game number 2. The bunts here, it's going to be tipped and fouled. 0-1 count for the freshman. Bowen 56 hits to lead not only the Nighthawks, but the entire conference. That one's going to be tipped and fouled. Now a quick 0-2 count for Jace Bowen. He's also got 22 RBIs this season, second behind Riley Frost with 33. And the 0-2 pitch, that one's going to be left outside for a ball, 1-2. Lavandiere gets his signal. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be tipped and fouled again. Still a 1-2 count for Jace Bowen. Nighthawks has done a great job battling here with these Tigers pitchers in this game. Another pickoff attempt with Opata over there on first. We mentioned Opata in a 3-way tie for stolen bases in the Peach Ball Conference. Sitting in third place with 17 this year. He's always a threat whenever he's on base. 1-2 pitch. That one's, again, tipped and fouled. Count staying at 1-2. Bowen's been one of the most consistent hitters in the Peach Belt Conference this season. The 1-2 pitch. That one again fouled. Count remains at 1-2. Again, the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be low, and there's a steal there from Opata. That's going to get over the head of the second baseman. And so now that stolen base
steal
puts him firmly in third place in the Peach Belt Conference in stolen bases. Counts 2-2 for Jace Bowen. 2-2 pitch. That one's going to be low for a ball, and now the freshman Jace Bowen finds himself at a full count. And the full count pitch. Now it's going to be grounded over into shallow center field. The throw to first on time, but that's going to advance Opata over there to third. Now with Riley Frost up to bat for the Nighthawks. Frost in this game 1 for 3. Are we looking to get something down in the outfield? Try to make this a one-run ball game. Potentially get one over the wall. Tie this one up. We know Frost is more than capable of it. And that pitch from Lavendiere is going to be outside 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch. Again, outside, now 2-0. Lavendiere gets the signal. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Frost. Again, outside, now 3-0. Would not be shocked if Frost neglects to swing here. And the 3-0 pitch. Inside, right down the middle for a strike, 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch, that one's going to be high for ball number 4. And so now runners are going to be on the corners for Tim Conway. Conway looking for his first hit here in game number 2. Now a better time than ever. Get something down in the outfield. Score Opata. Trying to make this a one-run ball game. Could potentially take the lead here if he's able to get something out of the park. And that's going to be a strike there from Lavendiere. Counts 0-1. Another pickoff attempt there at first. Riley Frost hanging out over there at first base with Caden Zacharias. Opata over on third with Aaron Forbes. And the 0-1 pitch to Conway. That was going to be low for a ball, 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch to Conway. That one's going to be driven into shallow center field, and a play is going to be made over there on second as the Nighthawks are unable to put another run on the board as we head to the top of the 9th. The Tigers still lead this game by 2 runs when we return. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
How do you create something that's different than everyone else? You do it differently than everyone else. Here at Copeland Creative, we specialize in telling captivating stories of wild people, wild things, and wild places. We don't just capture the story, we immerse ourselves in it. We are a diverse, multi-talented media house based in North Georgia, and if you have a story that needs told, we want to help you tell it.
Greatness. Greatness is defined as striving to succeed. It is giving everything you have to achieve your goals. It's not defined by the numbers of games you lose, the numbers of shots you miss, but it's the risk in failing that will define your greatness. You earn it by showing up early, by pushing yourself every day, by working harder than everyone else. And when you've reached that point of giving up, you don't. Most people are good, others are great. Find your greatness.
Back with you here at the Steiner. We're at an 8-6 ball game. Tigers hold a 2-run lead over the Nighthawks as we head to the top of the ninth. With Brett Ayer going to lead things off for the Tigers. And Ayer sees a strike go by him there from Zach Green. Counts 0-1. Nighthawks trying to keep the Tigers scoreless here in the top of the ninth, with the advantage being the home team will have the chance to respond in the bottom of the ninth. Counts now 0-2 for Ayer. And the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be grounded right back to Green. He'll make the flip to Bowman over there at first for the first out here in the top of the ninth. Now Caden Zacharias is going to get a crack at it here. Zacharias got a hit in this one. He's also been struck out, grounded out, and hit by a pitch. He grounds this one up the left field line. It stays fair. Bowen will make the throw to first on time for out number 2 in the top of the ninth. And that was a perfectly placed ball there from Zacharias. Fortunately for him, Bowen right on top of it.
Yeah, and this is a lot of things. This is a lot of on that plays. A lot. We saw a lot of that last night against Salem. A lot of just routine plays and just being on point defensively, especially when it came to the fielding.
Absolutely, and the Tigers were unable to get a lot of stuff going in the gaps yesterday. They've definitely seen a lot more success here in game number 2. As that pitch from Green is going to be low and outside for a ball. 1-0 for Tyler Shin, who's at the plate for the Tigers. Now it's going to be high and outside, now 2-0. And every batter in the Tigers lineup has a hit in this one besides Nathan Kuhn, who is on deck. Now it's going to be high for ball number 3. Shin now in a quick 3-0 count. Now it's going to be outside, so 4 straight balls pitched here from Zach Green. Is going to walk Shin to first. Now with Kuhn stepping up into the batter's box. We just mentioned Kuhn, the only Tiger today to not get a hit in this one. We'll see if he can change the tide here. We got 2 outs in the top of the ninth. A runner on first for the Tigers. Nighthawks trying to hold them scoreless here in the top of the ninth. And that pitch from Green is going to be a ball, his 5th in a row, counts 1-0. the 1-0 pitch. Outside for another ball. 2-0 count for Kuhn. As Green looks for his signal. And he gets it. And the 2-0 pitch to Kuhn. That one's going to be outside, and so now another 3-0 count for the Tigers. And the 3-0 pitch going to be inside, and a strike for Zach Green. Now 3-1 for Nathan Kuhn. Nice rebound pitch there from Green after 7 straight balls. Here comes a 3-1 pitch outside. And so Green walking back-to-back batters here for the Tigers, and Coach Cantrell is going to have a word with Zach Green. This could potentially be the end of the day for the sophomore. Doesn't look like it is, and so that is going to be the end of the day for Zach Green. He's allowed 2 hits, a run being earned. He's walked a few batters here, and he's struck out 2 today, and so Coach Cantrell making another Wendy's call to the bullpen here in this game, and we'll have that pitching substitution for you here in just a moment. Coach Cantrell looking to switch things up here. Now Jared Bales is going to be on the mound for North Georgia. Bales this season with a 4.85 ERA. Pitched 13 innings for North Georgia, allowing 13 hits. 9 runs, 7 of those runs being earned. He's walked 6 batters, struck out 4 of them, allowing just 1 home run, holding his opponents to a .283 batting average. Bale's a freshman out of Gainesville, North Hall High School. We'll see what the righty pitcher can do here for North Georgia as the Nighthawks try to hold the Tigers scoreless here in the top of the 9th. Bales is not allowed a hit since April 7th when the Nighthawks took on Flagler in a 3-game series, and with which North Georgia swept Flagler College here at home.
And that's a key right there. You said Bales hasn't allowed a hit in 8 days, and that's going to be the key for North Georgia in this inning is just don't let Salem get any more runs and then get ready to run it back in the bottom of the 9th.
So now Jacob Hurley up to bat for the Tigers. Hurley's got one of the 12 hits for the Tigers in this one, as Bales' first pitch of the afternoon is going to be a ball. It's a 1-0 count. And the 1-0 pitch going to be inside. Now a 1-1 count for Jacob Hurley. Nighthawks and Jared Bales try to keep runners stranded on first and second. And the 1-1 pitch. That one's just outside, now 2-1. Bales gets his signal. And the 2-1 pitch to Hurley. He grounds this one near the Tigers' dugout. Counts moving to 2-2. Yet again, Deuces running wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on for the Tigers here in the top of the 9th. And a stolen base attempt there. And that runner is going to be safe. That's Kuhn over there at third. So now runners on the corners for Jacob Hurley. And so now got Kuhn actually over on first. Shin over there on third. And the 2-2 pitch. That one's going to be down the middle for strike number 3. Bales getting the strikeout on Hurley. That's going to take us to the bottom of the 9th. The Nighthawks with a chance to tie it up or potentially walk it off when we return. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Chick-fil-A of Dahlonega is the presenting sponsor of the Nighthawk of the Week program. From supporting local charities to hosting school spirit nights, Chick-fil-A restaurants are committed to giving back in ways that are most meaningful to their customers. If you're looking for great food nearby, it is Chick-fil-A's pleasure to serve you. United Logistics is a veteran-owned and relationship-driven company with a goal of being an integral part of the community, providing safe transportation and shipping solutions, and being recognized as one of the leading providers of transportation nationwide. Visit unitedlogistics.net for more information. Established in 1984 in nearby Clermont, Georgia, the Chattahoochee Group is a local company that's grown to include construction, streetscaping, modular walls, metal buildings, disposal, concrete, sports field installation, site work, and more. To learn more about the Chattahoochee Group's wide range of project offerings, visit chatgroupinc.com.
Back with you here at the Steiner. We've got a great game between North Georgia and Salem. The Tigers hold a 2-run lead over the Nighthawks as we head to the bottom of the 9th, where Nick Levensteins is going to lead things off for North Georgia. And the Nighthawks guaranteed to see Levensteins, Frost, and Bowman at the plate here in the bottom of the 9th. And now pitching for the Tigers is going to be number 5, Keegan Oliver, with a 3.38 ERA. He's pitched 32 innings for the Tigers, allowing 22 hits, 19 runs, 12 of those runs being earned. Walked 16 batters, struck out 41, third best on the team. He's not allowed a home run this season. Held his opposing batters to a 195 batting average. And Oliver's first pitch is going to be a ball, 1-0 count for Nick Levensteins.
Oliver has struck out a batter at least once every time he's been up to the mound this season.
And now it's going to be down the middle for a strike, 1-1 for Nick Levensteins. And Oliver saw the mound in game number 1 yesterday evening. He pitched just 1 inning for the Tigers. Allowed 2 hits, 2 runs. Struck out 2 batters, as you mentioned. He walked 1 as well. Counts now 1-2 for Nick Levensteins. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be grounded over into center field and fielded nicely by the shortstop. He'll make the throw to first, and that's not going to be there on time, and that's going to be a hit for Nick Levensteins as he is able to get on first and put a runner on for Connor Frost. Frost has got a hit in this one, an RBI as well. 1 for 3 today. So we got a couple vets seeing the field here in the bottom of the ninth, and Levensteins and Frost, as he sees a strike go by him there, counts 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch to Frost. That one's going to be tipped and fouled. Now 0-2 for the senior. Connor Frost looking for North Georgia's 10th hit of the game. Tigers with 12. Nighthawks still down by 2 runs in this game. Pickoff attempt over there at first. Still no outs here in the bottom of the ninth. Oliver gets his signal. And the 0-2 pitch to Frost. That one's going to be just outside for a ball, 1-2. Oliver gets his signal again. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be grounded over the head of the pitcher, and that's going to get to second, where he's going to bobble it. Second baseman over there. And now runners are going to be on first and second for the Nighthawks with Edwin Bowman up to bat.
Things are starting to get interesting in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Definitely starting to get interesting here. And head coach JT Heenan realizes that, comes out to the mound, having a conversation here with his infield. As the Nighthawks now have runners on first and second, no outs here in the bottom of the ninth with Edwin Bowman up to bat. And we know Edwin Bowman's no stranger to walk-off W's for North Georgia. He, of course, was the catalyst behind that walk-off win for the Nighthawks about a month ago against Catawba.
Be nice to see one right here. It'd be nice to see one here, and maybe give some more momentum back into this team going into Game 2 of the day, Game 3 of the series.
And so now with Edwin Bowman up to bat, .291 batting average. Be looking for his second home run of the season. That would give the Nighthawks the walk-off victory here in Game 1 of our doubleheader. And that pitch is going to be outside, 1-0 for Edwin Bowman. Nighthawks looking to execute here. Two seniors on base, a freshman at the home plate, and Edwin Bowman. That one's driven high and over the Nighthawks dugout. Counts now 1-1 for Bowman. As Oliver gets his signal. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Bowman. That one's also going to be outside, 2-1. And Bowman's got Justin Bailey on deck, also another player for North Georgia, not afraid of the moment. No stranger to come from behind wins for North Georgia. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, tipped and fouled. Counts moving to 2-2. Bowman, of course, not afraid of the moment either. Got 34 hits this year, 16 RBIs. And the 2-2 pitch is not coming quite yet. Almost did Oliver, a little fake out throw to second. And the 2-2 pitch to Bowman. He swings and misses there. Oliver getting the strikeout. Oliver keeping his streak of games with a strikeout alive. But now Justin Bailey up to bat for North Georgia. Bailey this year a .308 batting average. 36 hits, 3 home runs, the second most on this team. And he sees a pitch in the dirt for a 1-0 count. Got 20 RBIs as well, fourth most on the team. And the 1-0 pitch to Bailey, outside, 2-0. Nighthawks have had some pretty good play discipline so far. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Bailey. Inside for a strike, 2-1. Oliver gets his signal. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Bailey. That one's popped up high and fouled behind him. Now a 2-2 count for Justin Bailey. Oliver got his eye over on second. Levensteins. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Bailey. Outside, now a full count. We got seniors all over the place. Levenstein's on second. Frost on first. Bailey at the plate. As Oliver gets his signal. And the full count pitch to Bailey. Going to be inside for strike 3. Bailey not pleased with that call. Neither is the Nighthawks faithful here. Bailey in a bit of disbelief on that strike 3 call. So now the Nighthawks down to their final out here in the bottom of the 9th. Andrew Sopata going to try to extend this game for North Georgia. And that pitch from Oliver's going to be high for a ball, 1-0. Opata's got 2 hits and an RBI in this game. Can he add to that total and extend this game for the Nighthawks? 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be grounded over to the short. And the throw to first on time as the Tigers secure the win here in game number 2, 8-6. Devin, any final thoughts on this one?
Well, compared to this game where North Georgia was completely on point, I felt like there were moments of time where North Georgia were hot, in which we saw that in the first inning where we saw them respond right back, coming back from a 3-0 deficit, and then a couple innings later scoring 4 runs and taking the lead for a little bit. I think the key for the next game is for North Georgia to stay consistent, and that's what they did in Game 1, is that they were able to just stay consistent, and I think that's the key here, is not be hot and cold, but just be consistent. That's going to be the key for Game 2.
Absolutely, and for the first time in program history, Salem University takes the win over North Georgia, and that's going to do it for us here in Game 2 at the Steiner. Your final score, 8-6, Tigers on top of the Nighthawks, and the Tigers take Game 2, and now it's up to the series finale to settle the winner of the weekend, and we'll be back with you in 30 minutes for coverage of Game 2 of our doubleheader and the series finale between North Georgia and Salem University. A big thanks to everyone on the Nighthawk Sports Network team working behind the scenes to make this one possible. On behalf of Devin Kupka and the rest of the NSN crew, this is Robert D. Clementi saying thanks so much for watching. Again, your final score from Dahlonega, 8-6, Tigers on top of the Nighthawks. Until Game 3, we will see you real soon.